Okay, so in the previous lecture we have created this logo, and now this logo is in Warnite fracture over here. Now if you hit Ctrl R, you will get the same results, just because we are in preview mode. That's why we are getting something like this. If you want, then you can apply this color over here also. And let's apply this color to Warnite fracture only, not to this extrude like this. Okay, now let's select this Warnite fracture, and if you go to the source, we have already one point generator distribution, and that's why we are getting this fractures over here. Now I'm going to increase the point amount over here, so I'll get some more fractures. If you want, then you can make to up to 1000 also, so you will get this kind of structure. Now if you select this move Warnite fracture over here, now we need to animate this thing. So let's go to the move graph and go to the effectors, and I'm going to choose plane effector. So with the help of that, I can animate that position property. So let's go to the parameter, and I don't want this to be elevate on y position, so I'll make it 0, but I want this to be go to around, let's say 200 on x position, or let's say 300 maybe. And then go to the rotation, and rotation, let's make it 180, 180 and 180 like this. And go to the scaling options and go to the uniform scale, and I want this -1. Okay, so now it's completely gone. And now we will animate this Warnite fracture with the help of fall off. So I'll go to the fall off, and I'm going to bring my fall off over here, which is our linear field. Now what will happen, that with the help of this linear field, if I move this over here and here, we can animate this logo like this. And if you hit Ctrl R, you will get this kind of results. But this is not just enough, we need some more things over here. So initially that linear field should be over here like this. And if you make this -x, let's say, so now we will get, so now this is in opposite direction. So if you move this field from here to here, you will get something like this, but we don't want that, so I'll make this +x only. So let's move this over here like this, and let's select this linear field, go to the coordinates, let's create one keyframe at x position. Let's increase the duration to around 180 and move this timeline. Select this linear field, go to around 110. Let's go one frame forward. Select this linear field, and we will move this from here to here, and we will create another keyframe. So now if I see this animation from the start, I'll get this kind of animation. If you want the animation should be a little bit slow, so you can move this to 150 also, and let's increase the duration to 250 like this. Okay, so if you see this animation now, you will get something like this. And if you hit Ctrl R, we will get this kind of animation. Okay, let's select this camera, right click, go to the cinema 4D tag and add protection tag, so we are not gonna get anything towards this. Now let's select this Warnite fracture over here, and now we have to add other things, like let's go to the move graph, go to the effectors, and I'm going to add delay deformer over here. And let's select this delay deformer. So what will happen, if I press NA on my keyboard, so we can see properly, we will get some delay in our animation, and animation will look a little bit smoother. So let's select this delay. If you go to the effectors, and if you make it 80%, let's not 100 but let's say 80%, so what will happen, our animation will look a little bit smoother. As you guys can see, the transition is very happening smoother like this. And there is another option you can do, it's totally up to you. You can add spring also. So what will happen, along with this animation, you will get a little bit of something like this. So if you want this kind of jiggly effect, then you can use spring, but I'll choose not even but blend option, because that looks cooler like this. And another thing I'm going to do, I'll select this plane, I'll go to the parameters, and I'm going to add, let's say z maybe 200 like this. So let's see, not 200 but -200. So now as you guys can see, this is coming towards the camera. So let's increase this value somewhere around like this. And now if I see this animation now, I'll get something like this. Okay, so this is for this. And then select this Warnite fracture, and another thing we need to do over here, I'm going to add another thing, let's say random effector maybe. Yeah, I'll add random effector. Now what will happen that we will get this kind of structure because we have added random defector. And if you see, the position is 50, 50 and 50. Okay, so now I'll go to the rotation property and I'll add a little bit rotation also. Let's make it somewhere around 90, 180 and 270. So now if I see this thing, I'll get this kind of weird animation effect over. But now what we are going to do, we are going to add linear field to this one also. So I'll go to the fall off and I'm going to add linear field. And now I'll move this linear field over here. Let's go over here and let's see that properly. Select this linear field and move this over here along with this linear field of this plane. And now I'll select this linear field and I'll bring this downwards and I'll make it apparent with this linear field of plane. So you can do that also, but one thing you need to understand that this linear field, it's still the linear field of this random. So now if I hit play to this animation, I'll get this kind of effect. So now there are two fields applied to this thing over here. If I select this Voronoi fracture and if I go to the effectors, as you guys can see, first we are applying this plane, then delay. If you want, then you can move this delay at the backward. So now delay deformer, I mean effector will perform after that. As you guys can see, now we have animation a little bit more smoother. If I bring this forward, then if you can see, the animation will look a little bit of different, like there is no smoothness in transition, it's just happening. But if you move this delay deformer late after all of them, then from the fractures to logo, the transition is very smoother. So you can do that also. Okay, so this is for logo animation. Now but now over here, what I want, that outer portion of this logo should be with white color and inner portion should be with different color. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this material and by holding control, I'll create one copy of it. Let's double click to open this, select this, go to the RGB mode and I'm going to select just a darker version of this blue. And now select this Voronoi fracture and over here we will go to the selection. Now I'm going to enable my inside faces and outside faces. Okay, so if you see, this is for inside faces and this is for outside faces. Now let's select this darker version of this blue. Let's go to the luminance and we will also select darker version over here also, and we will apply this darker version to this Voronoi fracture also. So if you hit Ctrl R, we will get this kind of render, which is absolutely, we don't want that. So now we have to tell this Voronoi fracture that I want this white color on proper logo and this color should be inside. So as you guys know, let's bring this backwards. And now we have selections over here. So I'll select this white color, and because this is my inside faces and this is my outside, so I'll select this white color, and in selection option I'll select this outside selection and I'll move this over here. And for this bluer, I'll bring my inside selection. So now if I hit Ctrl R over here, as you guys can see, we have different color inside of this logo and different color outside. Okay, so we can do this also. So if I hit Ctrl R, my final animation would be like this. Okay, so this is what you can do with like this. And then I'm going to select my camera. I'll go to the coordinates and let's initially move this okay, we need to delete this protection tag. Let's select this camera and we will create one keyframe at side, and as the animation goes over here up to around 200 frames, let's say, I'll bring this camera from here to here, so we will get one zoom out effect on this. Then select this, right click, go to the animation, show F curve, select this curve and let's enable this linear icon, and I'll want this animation to 200 frames only. So if I see this animation now, I'll get something like this. Then you can render out this animation. You guys know how to render it. So yep, this is how you can create any kind of 3D logo animation inside of Cinema 4D.